What is up? What is up? How's everyone doing? I am so
Hey,
sorry about that. We lost our coast to coast banner there, so I don't know what happened. So you know what, we had to go with the game on Wisconsin one that time. So apologies about that. But I hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone have amazing Thanksgiving. And I know we all had an amazing Thanksgiving Day with that game because I don't think anyone expected that. I'm Amar Desai here from Coast to Coast Packers, and I got my man here, Bernie Bango, with us as
what's
always. Bernie,
up?
how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing excellent, man. I'm still riding the high of that win, man. That's I knew this was living inside of me this whole season, and I think it was awakened because there's other fans feeling the same way now. And what's up, True North Packers fans? Hey, my voice is weak from trash talking to Lions fans. I love it. I love it,
Look, I think
man.
all of us are in that same boat. I think I'm still on the high. You could tell me nothing. I was full of piss and vinegar. Could tell me not a damn thing on Thursday, on Friday, Saturday. Sunday was like stress free from a perspective, not having to worry about Packers football, and really still riding the cloud nine as of today. And now looking the fact that we went from a team that was playing for draft position and we're playing for development of young players, which we still are, that second part, right? But now, what were you just telling me? Was a 45% chance of making the playoffs?
45% chance of making the playoffs.
45. And then think about it like this too. Like the whole thing coming up to this Detroit game was we just need one of these games, right? We need to steal a game. And no one thought that we would steal the Detroit game, let alone the Chiefs game coming up, but we did. And I think we finally saw for once how this team could be when all facets of it are playing on the same page. And they're all playing well, mistake free. And if they do make mistakes, they don't destroy the team's momentum going into the next play or the next series, and they just find a way to keep pushing forward. And I feel like that Thursday game, there was after that first play action pass to Christian Watson for 53 yards, I just felt like, man, it's gonna be a special day. And man, I'm hyped, and I'm really looking forward to the outlook of this team. Because you know what? Like, if you told me a playoffs like a month or two ago, I would have said in the back of my head it's a possibility, but realistically, I would be like, probably not.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was kind of giving up on the playoff thoughts as well. But hey, before we get into that Detroit game,
Yep.
I just got a little bit of an opening statement.
Go for it.
I want to personally thank Coach LaFleur for the team's preparation for this Thanksgiving game. I know there isn't a lot of time to prep for those short weeks, but whatever he did differently from the Amazon Prime beating the Lions gave us the first Thursday game, I don't know what he did different, but keep doing that. I feel like with no Jones, no Wicks, LaFleur had to whip out some newbies, some oldies, some secret plays, and whatever gadgets he had on his utility belt. I've dogged him this season numerous times for not having his guys ready. But man, that first quarter might have been the best football the Packers put together this season. So my apologies to LaFleur because I was dogging him on not having the guys ready. And they were ready, man, right out the gate, as you were saying, Amar, to that first pass to Watson. So that's my opening statement. A personal thank you and apology to Coach LaFleur.
If we're going to do apologies, then I got to do one to freaking Joe Barry, dog. I can't do it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, man. Look, I'll be the first one to say that I don't think I expected the defense to show out like they did. I know that Joe Barry has played against the Lions very well, and he knows how to play against Goff, but he didn't. They still got smacked, right? Even though week 3 the defense kind of did show up, but they kind of eventually just couldn't do anything after a while, right? But man, defense, it looked like they just pinned their ears back. And they just slowly kept going after him and didn't. There was no stopping him. And there's something here that true Packer North fans said that he's right. Like, let alone like what you were saying about what LaFleur did, because he did the same thing against Arizona in 2021. Short week. Arizona, the team was I think either undefeated or one of the best teams in NFC. We went in there, no Devontae Adams, no Aaron Jones, and we were depleted on offense and on defense. And we still came away with the victory. And that is where I feel that I did say that. That's why I got to apologize. I was gonna say that. That was the plan. It was one of those things where I'm ready to eat crow if he can keep stacking these successes. Because the truth is that team was ready to play, and I think a lot of people, like us included, have been questioning Matt LaFleur's coaching ability, his ability to lead these young men, not veterans, and to be able to be the steady rudder to this boat where it seemed like it was literally lost at sea. And he brought it on track. And not only did he do it, he did it against a division opponent who is leading our division, we were in their house, and normally Thanksgiving is a magical day for the Lions. It just always is. And come to find out, there was some gibbonous moon that they've never won on Thanksgiving in the last like 20 years, something crazy. And I don't know, I'm all about astrology, so I'm like, hey man, sign me up. So apologies all around. Matt LaFleur, Joe Barry, Jonathan Owens. I mean, everybody.
Christian Watson.
I mean, I'm over here talking about when George Pickens, and Christian Watson's like, wait a minute, I'm right here, dog. You don't need it. I'm right here. And man, like, we went into this game literally like with like our whole body bandaged up with no chance in hell. We were like over a touchdown favorite against us, and we dominated. And damn, like that was on a short week. It you kind of wish that like LaFleur had to play with his back against the wall every week. Because I feel like when he has these kinds of situations where he has to show up and it's like adversity is really hitting, is when you see the best of LaFleur. Right? Like I don't feel like, we've seen that time and time again. Because when he gets like the week off or he gets like the extra mini bye week, I just feel like the team comes out a little flat. But when he's like, oh shit, like we're screwed. We got like 2 days to prepare. He shows up. I don't know how, but he shows up, man. And
my question is he like a procrastinator? Does he have ADHD? Because I do. I am those things, and I vibe very well with these short weeks, I think. When I have too much time, oh man, I'm like, oh, I got all the time in the world. Fuck it, I don't need it. Oh, I don't need to do anything, man. I'm like, whatever. But then if someone's like, we got this to do and it's due tomorrow, man, I'm gonna probably present my best work. So my question is MLF have ADHD?
Some kind of,
I don't know.
some kind of thing going on. All I know is he had an amazing game plan, and he showed up, and that team, he gave us hope again. And now we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who have not looked that great coming in. But before we jump to that, got the Detroit Lions game. Let's talk about some of the guys that really just show up. Jordan Love really just showing everybody what he's really about, and showing that if the guys around him are on the same level as him when it kind of, actually performing and executing properly, man, this offense he's doing all this once again with no running game. Like there's no running game whatsoever, and there's no fear of the run, and he's still just slicing and dicing. And that Detroit defense made us look really bad in Green Bay in Week 3, and they look like they just look like whatever. They just look like the same typical bottom tier defense they normally are ranked, and I feel like we showed the hell out, and I'm just really, really proud of him, proud of Rashawn Gary, Jonathan Owens, Karen Javon. I mean, there were so many guys that were unsung. Carl Brooks. There were so many guys that just showed up and took advantage of the spotlight. And man, like if we're starting to get production from these young rookies and these like first time players, or just individuals that you weren't expecting much from, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, man, it was just awesome. I felt like the ball was spread around better this game too. And Dylan didn't do anything that was just like mind blowing, but his 43 rush yards, his 3 catches for 38 yards, he did exactly what we needed him to do. He got a lot of tough yards there with rushing the ball. I think he had like 14 carries. With giving him those carries, you keep the defense honest. If you abandon the run, I don't think this, it probably looks a little bit different. But then Rashawn Gary had himself a day. My only complaint about this game is that Jordan Love didn't get his turkey leg.
100%.
That's the only.
That's a conspiracy. We need Congress involved, because seeing Greg Olson on TV destroy the turducken and then being like, "Oh, there's no other turkey," and I've seen a lot of conspiracy stories out there where they had the lion seared into the turkey and they had all this and all this crazy stuff, right? I wouldn't be surprised, but I just think that it is a travesty that you guys have had something been going on since the Madden days, and
Yeah.
you just weren't prepared for it this year for the Packers. Like, that's
because
unacceptable, man. Unacceptable.
Well, the big thing was too is they showed Greg Olson like at halftime, right? He was like
He was tearing it open.
He tearing it open. He wanted to eat it, and people were like, "Isn't that the turkey that's supposed to go to the team?" I don't know, but they fumbled.
He said no. He's like, "Oh, there's 2 turkeys," and then they come back and find out there was no turkey, and I'm like, and that turkey didn't even have no legs on it. Did you notice that too? It was just like the turkey. There was no legs, and I'm just like, it was kind of messed up. Where like every team that played on Thursday and on Friday, they all got something. They either got turkeys or they got a turkey. They got some gourmet sandwich that I guess Al Michaels wanted nothing to do with. And like, I'm just saying, like, you know what? I just want this to feel Jordan. I just wanted to feel his rage of just like, I don't know if he's like the Rodgers where he has a chip on his shoulder. I really don't think he does because of everything he's gone through in his life. But if he does and he doesn't talk about it, I'm all for it because I'm all about just feeling that power of just being counted out and disrespected and just taking that and proving people wrong. And he's doing it. And even listening to the coaches today and hearing the way like Tom Clemens was talking about how Jordan is progressing faster. He goes, everybody has an arm, but those people that make those decisions at the right time, because it's easy to throw for the big ball. Everybody wants to throw the long ball. But it's times where you have to check down and still get big plays.
Hey, chicks dig
the long ball, baby. You're damn right. And then Jason Vrabel said the same thing too about how Jordan, he makes it a point to go out of his way to talk to the receivers, puts his arms around them, especially when they mess up. And he's highly accountable and critical with them. But on the same end too, though, he's like, hey, don't worry, I got you. We'll get this right. That's the type of young leadership you need from your quarterback who's going to be not just like worrying about himself, but because this is all dependent on his future too, right? But he knows these guys are the reason why he's going to have a future in Green Bay. These receivers and these tight ends, hell, the offensive line, without them, he can't perform. And making sure that they don't feel like they're the reason why he's failing, I think that's awesome because I don't know how much of that was going on back in the day. Honestly, I really don't know. There's a lot of comments that we had from the previous quarterback, but like at the end of the day, I love the way this team is galvanized. Like, this was like a galvanizing moment.
Yes.
Now there's always that galvanizing moment. This was it. But they came in, hostile territory, no chance in hell. And not only did they win, they won. They should have blown out Detroit because there was a couple, right, where Jason freaking Myers showed up like he normally does. Didn't show up. Freaking bullshit. But
and I felt like we left 5 points out on the field, right? We missed that first extra point.
Yep.
Then we missed a field goal.
Yep.
And then we also had we went for 2 then later in the game, but we would have never gone for 2 had we made those first 2 kicks, I feel like. So to me, that was like we left 5 points out there on the field.
And even that one where Josh Myers messed up on the block and Jordan had to kind of like sidearm it to Christian Watson right in the fourth quarter. That's the dagger right there. That's another touchdown. That's 300 yards for Jordan. That's like 2 touchdowns, over 120 yards for Watson. And because of the pass had to be rushed because he couldn't hold it tick longer because of the rush.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of points on that field that we missed out on, just like the ones you saw on special teams where I understand Anders is young, he's a rookie, and we have to go with these bumps in a row. But, dude, I'm saying you got one damn job, dog. It's just to kick field goals. You cannot miss extra points. You cannot miss 30, 40-yard field goals. Like the 60-yarder one or whatever, 59-yarder, I'm not mad about that.
Get a total pass on that one, man.
I'll pass that one. The ones that are routine, no, dog. There's no rookie, rookie. I don't give a damn. Like, there's no excuse for that.
Especially when you're kicking indoors, in my opinion.
Wait, no weather. There's nothing stopping you from doing what you need to do. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
You don't like another like. I don't know. I know a lot of players don't like playing on turf, but in my opinion, I feel like it would be easier to kick on turf. I don't know. I've played soccer. I've played soccer on turf. I've played soccer on turf.
Yeah, but a lot of the fields in Europe they actually removed this, and even now here in the States, like when they have the Major League, the MLS, right, where Messi has even said that he won't play on turf fields. So they literally bring in grass fields for him to play on. And so it's funny when we've gone to stadiums that have grass fields, they put turf out for NFL teams, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's all about cost. I guess it's cheaper to maintain turf than it is to maintain real grass, right? And but I'm with you, man. Like I know a lot of the players complain about it. They say their bodies ache. I mean, I've done flag football and I've done like high school football on turf, and it sucks, man. Like your joints kill.
Yeah, I played one game on turf, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do any kicking, so I can't speak on
Yeah,
that.
I just ran. I didn't kick you.
It was, we played some high school down in Chicago. It was like my junior year of high school. They paid us to like come down there and play them, and they just beat the shit out of us. And they thought it was cool because we were going to be playing on a Division 2 or 3 or a community. I don't know. It was some community college, maybe football field, and it was turf. And like you said, like it felt like getting tackled on concrete. Like you said, like your body ached all over the place. But hey, the one I wanted to say, like right, you said it was a galvanizing moment. I thought to myself, I feel like this is the most like locker room chemistry or cohesion and love between the players I feel like we've seen during the LaFleur era, right? I felt like right away there was Rodgers LaFleur tension when the LaFleur
when that 5-game losing streak was going on. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But now I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit more of a fresh start. We got a lot of young guys in there, new leaders. This is the best this room is. I felt. And Todd was saying, talk about the Packers now is different than 4 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Hopefully it keeps up. Give the Chiefs a run for their money Sunday night. So let's talk about that. Packers, Chiefs, Sunday night football. Will Taylor Swift be there? I do not care.
Nor do I. I'd rather care if Simone Biles is there. That's who I care about. I don't care about no damn Taylor Swift.
She's our queen, man.
She's our queen. Damn right.
Yeah.
No, I want you to start this off because there was something you said to me earlier when we were chatting about this on text, and I want you to bring it up. I ain't gonna say it. You brought it up in text messages, and it was something about the team. Something's getting better about the team.
Oh boy. I hope I remember this one. You might.
Had something to do with the injury report, maybe a little something about us possibly getting healthy.
Just getting healthy, man.
That's it.
Yeah. Get healthy. Come on. Let's get healthy, man. Okay, so let's talk about this Packers and Chiefs game. Who are two guys that you feel like we need to come back to win this game? Like, what are two guys that are down right now? I got two that come to my mind immediately.
Go for it. You go first. I don't want to.
Okay.
This is your segment on this one.
Yeah. Number one's Aaron Jones, right? Okay. Dylan stepped in, did his thing, what he could for this game, but I need Aaron Jones back. He makes is he expected to come back? I can't remember who
maybe because they said he's not on IR. He has an MCL sprain. He was seen stretching, which they normally don't. If he's a part of the rehab group and he's like, if he's like really injured, you won't see him stretching. So basically, the reporters were saying that they saw him stretching inside, but he didn't come outside with the team. Yeah. But it's a good sign that they saw him stretching because you normally don't see him when the guy's really hurt. He's not stretching with the team. Right. Yeah. They cut James Robinson. They cut Bo Melton, who's probably going to come back on the practice squad. So I feel like there's a chance that Jones could come back. MCL sprains are like anywhere between like 2 to 4 weeks. So with the way we had like the early game, right, it may come in our favor. I'm with you on that though. Aaron Jones, would be. He was the reason why we beat them in Kansas City back in 2020. Yeah. That's the reason why we beat him because of, that guy was just like, he must have had like a 200-yard game from scrimmage. He was like, looking like Kyron Williams from yesterday. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. And with the way that team like blitzes, like the Chief blitz, and they have all these crazy exotic blitz packages, you're going to need our screen game to be on point. And having a guy like as dynamic as Aaron Jones God, you're not lying. Like that is definitely number one. That's not my number one guy because it's your number one guy. I'm not gonna repeat. Yeah. Who's your second guy though?
My second guy I'm thinking about the playoff push more than the Chiefs game. And that's Ja, man. I like the intensity that this young secondary is bringing. They have like a swagger about them. Whether they've deserved to have that swagger or not, I don't know. But I love to see the young dudes playing with it. I love what they're bringing. But I think you need someone like Ja to make that playoff push. And then if you're thinking, I want to make an upset in the playoffs or make a run in the playoffs, he's the type of secondary you want that you hope can put the clamps down on someone. So those are my two guys I want back most. But I think for the Chiefs game, Jones is possibly the most important. I liked what Todd had said. I had put it up here. He said Jones, Musgrave, those are big. He thinks Savage will be back, possibly Stokes. So there's other options out there, but mine's Jones. I'll stick with that. Who's your guy that you think we really need back for that?
So it's crazy that they're mentioning that you said John, you said Stokes, because Jair was practicing today. Stokes' window's been open now for a week and a half. Him and Savage have been already. So Savage was already opened up the 21-day designation to return. Yeah. So they're hoping that he's back for this week, is what Coach said today. But when he said it, that's the plan. It's 50-50 still, right? Yeah. Stokes, I mean, he was out for 4 weeks, hamstring. He's already practicing. So I would love to see Ja out there. I think Ja is my number one because I really feel like this team is a better team with him out there. I know he hasn't had the best season that we normally expect from Jair, and I think a lot of things that has to do with primarily is because injuries. I don't think he's been 100% all year, and I think he's been dealing with a lot of stuff, and he's been playing almost the conservative game that's not really him because of that, right? Yeah. And the other guy is a guy that's not technically hurt, but I think he should be starting, and that's Sean Ryan. I love John Runyon Jr. I've been his biggest fan since he came into the league, but I just don't see him getting it done. And I'm at a point now where every time Ryan comes in, you can see every single one of his snaps, and he doesn't lose. He does not give up pressures. He does not. He's very assignment sound. So I don't know what he's doing during the week that they don't feel like he should start, but the game tape is showing something completely different. Like you see Ryan running out there. He has out of 10 plays, he does 7 good, but those 3 that he does bad have an impact on the game, right? Yeah. Ryan doesn't have those. He doesn't have mistakes. He doesn't have mishaps. So definitely I think Rasheed Walker is probably going to stay starting. He's getting better every week as a pass blocker. Yeah. Run blocking, no one's doing it good, so I'm not even going to worry about that at this point. You still see Myers get exposed. I think this game, having Myers on our side and then watching Creed Humphrey work against Kenny Clark, we're really going to see what we could have had instead of what we have, right? But really, I think Ja and Ryan are my 2 guys. I completely agree, Todd. Carrington Valentine, since coming into the starting lineup, has been lights out. I mean, his numbers are in a top 10 for cornerbacks in PFF grades. And I'm a Rasul guy through and through. But, I mean, he had an amazing game the week before, and then he kind of got exposed last night. But seeing the funny thing is I hate to use a Joe Barry euphemism here, but he's over here talking about champagne problems. If Stokes comes back, we have that. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm putting Stokes and Ja on the outside. I'm putting Carrington on the inside. And I'm saying, let's go. I love Keyshawn Nixon, but I just don't want him. I don't want him out on the defense if I can avoid it. I just want him doing special teams. I want him on offense so we can do some stuff. But really, Jair Alexander and really Sean Ryan are my 2 guys because everyone else is there. And I was going to say Wicks. I was going to say Devontae Wicks because I love that man. And I think number 13 is basically he's 17 light. You know what I'm saying? He has a similar name. He has a similar game. So having him out there, man, Sunday night football against the Chiefs, you need all hands on deck. And right. And we've seen the Chiefs. The Chiefs have looked mortal, right? They haven't looked this unstoppable juggernaut. And hell, they were down 2 touchdowns against the Raiders. Yeah, they came back, right? But if we can somehow get up 2 scores on the Chiefs, and we can keep the gas on the floor, we don't let up. We got a chance. They're saying that there may or may not be snow on Sunday night. I'm waiting for my boy Luke Sampe, who's a meteorologist in Green Bay that follows us all on Twitter and stuff like that. He always has he's always spot on with this stuff. That's the one meteorologist I know that's 80% right. So I'm waiting for him to let me know if they're gonna have snow or not. So
that game I'm excited for. My excitement for it, a few weeks ago had kind of slowed down for almost all the games, and some of those big games too. I was starting to sweat it, like the Chiefs. I was like, oh my gosh, are we just going to get whooped on completely? But now I'm sitting here thinking to myself, we can totally win this game. And hearing you talk about some of these, these guys that are practicing and are working their way back to the field, if we can get some production from guys, right? Guys like Jonathan Owens here, like Todd says, right? Owens has played well, surprisingly, right? So you know, if we get Savage back, if we get Stokes back, right? If we get Ford back, if we get if our secondary gets completely healthy, it's like you said, it's a champagne problem. We're gonna have too many people, you know, and there probably will be some sex in the champagne room then.
Hey, look, sign me up, dog. Sign me up. You don't ask for it. You don't ask for the champagne room unless you're ready for it. But look, that's why I worry though, because this is a good matchup game for us, because it'll be a chance we'd love to have a revenge game against that defense that made them look really bad in 2021. MVS revenge game. Someone mentioned it. True Packer fan mentioned the MVS game. I definitely can see MVS trying to pop off on us, right?
Oh yeah.
What worries me though is you can run on our defense. Like I know we've done better against the run, but you can still run on it, and I can see Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, who also would love to get back at us for his time when he was a Chicago head coach.
Yeah,
they just run the ball down our throats, and we just need to come to play like we did against Detroit, plain and simple. We need to institute that same kind of aggressive game plan on defense. Offensively, as long as Jordan Love is slinging it, I'm okay. I feel like seeing him these last 3 weeks, I think that's the true Jordan Love. I think what we saw in the beginning of the year was growing pains, and now he's settled in. He's laying it rip. He's doing what he needs to do, and hey, man, I am the eternal optimist. You already know me, man. I'm thinking we're gonna win out. So I'm sign me up, bro. Sign me up, man. I'm ready for it.
I love it, man. I it's infectious too. The positivity, the optimism. 100%. You know, I know the pessimism and the negativity is contagious as well. But man, you got to fight those off, man. And it's right now it's a positive. We're on a positive roll here, and we got to keep it going. And say if we get away with this Chiefs game, or we leave this Chiefs game leaving at least feeling positive, right? If we give them a good fight, some people are talking about it now, but I feel like in 2 more weeks, whether we beat the Chiefs or Giants, right? If we get one of those two, it's really going to pop up the playoff push. It's it's something that's going to be the real deal, right? And let's see here. Todd is saying like Colby Brooks are playing well. Not to mention Van Ness, all rookies, right? These are the guys that we're going to need for that playoff push, right? These guys are starting not to look. They're starting not to look like rookies.
Dude, Carl Brooks should be in there starting somehow. Like he should be. That guy has come on, 5th round kid, right? He's just nasty, and every time I see him out there, I see 94 out there. It is a complete 180 contrast from the old 94 Dean Lowry, right? Like this guy he's always around the ball. He's making plays. He's causing fumbles. He's recovering fumbles. He's just disruptive as hell, and I love it. And you're right. Like Gutekunst definitely had a masterclass in this last draft specifically, and even a little bit of last draft. The draft right previously and this last draft. These guys are contributing. They're coming in. They're getting starter snaps. They're making the best of it. And you're right. If we want to win out, which is possible, because look, like you said, we got the Chiefs this week at home. Then we had to fly in New York. We play the Giants at home, and the Giants were another team kind of like us, left for dead, and now they're stringing off wins. So you just can't assume that could be a trap game for us too, right? Like we can't assume anything, And could we win out? I think we could run the table. I think that that's a strong possibility. But on the same hand, too, though, this team, as what we've always been saying, has a stack success. They have to keep getting a little bit better every week. And if they can somehow find a running game, because when it gets cold, you need to run the ball, right? And like you said, they didn't run it well, but they still stuck with it. Like they were still giving Dylan the carries. Patrick Taylor was getting carries. Like we need to keep doing that. And then if we can, I think you're right. Like Aaron Jones, and we haven't had him for most of the year anyways, right? So if that means I got to keep him healthy and fresh for the playoff push, sign me up, man. Like this Kansas City Chiefs game, if we could pull out a victory, that'd be great. If we lose, I don't think it's the end of the world. Yeah, I really don't.
Yeah, with our injury report and with the schedule we have coming up, and where we're sitting right now, if we want to be tentative with guys, like do we want to rush them back? I feel like this is your last opportunity for that moment, right? You're like, this is our toughest game. Do we want to rush guys back for this? right? We're talking about how there's going to be rain and snow. Do we like we know how sloppy that fields get? Do we want a 75% Aaron Jones, running around on a sloppy ass field? Probably not. Like,
No.
so in my opinion, it's like this is the last week. If you feel like, hey, but then after this Chiefs game, man, it's all gas, no brakes. Like,
Yeah, I
if
agree.
you want to make the playoffs, you want to make a playoff push, it's time to suck it up, Buttercup, and play through an injury.
100%.
I will always respect a guy's decision, though, if he says I won't. I know there's some fans out there that get pissed at guys.
Don't agree with that. Yeah.
To me, it's
I
like
think
how
it's
bad.
BS. Like I mean, there's some dudes we both know that don't have heart, right? And you just know who they are. I don't think we have any of those guys on our team. Like people, I know Jair was getting a lot of hate. People are like, oh, he doesn't want to play, this and that, whatever. I think that's BS, man. I think that guy wants to be out there as much as everybody else. He's 20 something years old. And he has a back injury, and then on top of his shoulders acting up. Like I don't know, I'm just thinking like sometimes it's better him not being out there than being a liability. And Todd, Todd's hitting it, man. I'm not gonna lie, like Tucker Kraft, I really feel like is a guy who just hasn't really gotten snaps because Degora, because of Musgrave, and I think the more we see him play, you're gonna really see that third round curse. I really think the third round curse got broken. I think it got broken with Ryan, and I think it's getting broken with Kraft because both these guys, when they've been in there, I think Kraft has had some missed blocks. But man, when the rubber hits the ground, these guys are doing what they need to do. Tucker Kraft with that great touchdown, and then awesome just blocking on the line. Like I'm really impressed with this rookie class, and I was really hating on this staff and developing them. And again, in most fashions, I'm eating crow, and I'm okay with that.
Was it last week when we were talking about Wicks on this show? I have 3 podcasts, and I'm starting to get some of the conversation.
You like blending them?
I'm like blending the conversations. But we're talking about Wicks, right? We found him in the 5th round,
right?
And I had heard that if he had actually come out of
I had said that.
The year before, he would have probably gone in the 3rd or 4th,
second or third,
or second and third.
His numbers are good. And just. He had more tape out there, right? Like he was like, but it was like a 1 year kind of thing, and then comes back, shitty quarterback injuries, and then he falls. And I'm telling you, him and Reed, man, we may have gotten steals, honestly.
Yeah, because it's blowing my mind. Because I'm like thinking, we're sitting here talking playoffs, and I'm reading Todd's comment here, and I'm like, we could be out on the field in the playoffs. And we could be in a formation where all 4 of these guys are out there, and it would just be like, what other teams have made the playoffs, and they have 4 dudes out there on offense. That are rookies. And then you have like a defensive line that's getting a lot of snaps to rookies, and the secondary rookies. It's I am just so impressed by this class. The more we talk about it, I think the more I'm impressed.
I mean, look at like Jordan's numbers. Like his numbers as a quarterback are almost identical as Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation. Because they're 9-1 or 8-1, no 10-1 right now, right? But he has arguably the best offensive lines in the game. He has probably 2 of the top 5 receivers in the game, an amazing running game, and so it's understandable to see why he's in the MVP conversation. His numbers are as such. But the fact that Jordan's numbers are very identical to his numbers from touchdowns, interceptions, yards, and to sit there and be like, he's doing that with literally the youngest wide receiver core in the whole NFL. Yeah. I mean, we're spending what most people spend on maybe WR2 for the receiver, $7.5 million. We're spending that on all of our receivers. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think they need to start putting some more respect on these receivers as well as Jordan and LaFleur, because if I'm telling you right now, if Jordan can keep doing what he's doing and LaFleur can keep stringing wins, ain't no way how LaFleur doesn't win Coach of the Year. It should be, he deserves it. If he can turn this team around and gets him into the playoffs, I mean, come on, man.
It gotta be.
I don't care about anybody else at that point.
And on top of that, as we're kind of talking about all these draft, our draft, right? Another reminder: the Jets are so bad that the Packers' 2nd round pick will be so high. Thank you, Tim Boyle.
Hey, look, I'm looking for the Jets and the Bills to suck ass, so their picks are better for us. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
Like, keep losing to me. I'm okay. Keep losing to me.
Exactly. And we'll just give us a bunch of second rounders because I feel like that's our best bet.
Hey, look, at this point, if Goody can hit another third rounder like he did with Ryan and Kraft, hey man, get me another third rounder. I'm okay with it. I trust him.
And then True North Packer fan also saying the O-line has really started to play well the last few games. Still can't run block, but
not saving our fucking lives, but yeah. But we can pass block. We can pass block with the best of them.
But just keep running the ball anyways, because whenever we mix it in there, at a fair enough rate, we're successful, right? Play action.
You said it. You got to keep them honest. You said it. Like, that's exactly right. Like, even if it's not working, you still got to do it because you never know. You may pop one. You may just pop one, luckily, right? And hell, yesterday, the Chiefs and the Raiders, they were down. It was still a close game, like a touchdown game at that point. I think Kansas City already came back and took the lead, but they were still pounding the rock with Josh Jacobs to the point where, guess what? He broke out a 63-yard touchdown. I'm just saying, like, it can happen.
Yeah.
Because the way Kansas City plays very aggressively on the line, they kind of put everybody up front, and they let their corners kind of like play on islands and stuff like that, right? If you can get past that first line of defense, you might be hitting a home run. So I know, I'm just saying, like, there's that Kansas City Chiefs defense is really good, but they have been exposed throughout the year, right? There's a reason why Kansas City has 3 losses. I think they have 3 losses. They have 3 losses, right? So it's a reason why. And it's not because always Mahomes not playing great, but defense had been scored on as well too.
Yeah. And Chiefs weapons too. They've been dropping a lot of balls recently too. Yeah. Chiefs are currently 8-3. So
8-3. There you go. Yeah.
Yep. And then Todd also wanted to remind us that we have 5 picks in the top 80 picks next draft also. So we can continue cooking there. So I mean, every Packer subject we're talking about now, it feels more lighthearted and more optimistic, man. We're finding all the silver linings. But the thing is, though, it's always been there. All these things have been there. It's just like we've like put on our glasses or got our glasses on now, or maybe we're wearing rose-colored glasses. I don't know, but
I just think that we've all seen it. I think we've seen it, right? We've seen this team. Like, in the beginning of the year, we beat Chicago. Then, we, kind of almost, what the hell? What was it? We beat Chicago, right? And after we beat Chicago, should have beat Atlanta, but then we kind of, shot ourselves in the foot, came back and got the Saints, and then Detroit whooped our ass, right? But really, Detroit was probably the only game that we were out of sorts. Every other game we were in, and let's be real, we should have won that Pittsburgh game. So, I mean, I'm just saying our record could be completely different than being 5-6. It could easily be 7-4 right now. And, we could be fighting for the division. And it's in the same. The funny thing is, if you go back and look at our team, the games that we've lost, there's some of those, like the Detroit game, they whooped our ass. I'm not going to deny that. Every other game, we kind of beat ourselves.
Falcons, right? We lost by 1. Raiders was a 1-score game. Broncos was a 1-score game. Steelers, right? Those are
100%.
And like those are the games we might learn from, right?
Yes.
Or you do learn from, but those are the games you hope you're on the other end the next year.
Exactly.
But it feels
that's happening now.
It feels like we're turning that corner now, like half a season early. So,
I mean, did we get lucky against the Chargers? 100% we got lucky against the Chargers. But did we get lucky against Detroit? No, we whooped Detroit's ass. Plain simple. We came in there and we punched them in the mouth, and they're the bully, and we decided to get the bully back. And honestly, we're going to have to do the same thing in Kansas City. Kansas City is also another bully. And if we don't have an answer for Kelsey, we don't have an answer for Rice or Pacheco, we might be in trouble, right? Because, they can score in bunches. I mean, we have a playoff game in the divisions against the Bills, a year or 2 ago, where they scored literally 13 points. Like they scored 10 points in 13 seconds. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, they can score at will. So, we have to match that. And that's what remember we said that last week, right? Like we need to go score for score with Detroit. We didn't. We just had to just keep scoring and keep, playing great defense. And man, I'm telling you, Joe Barry, he better not make me a believer, dude. He's just please don't. Fuck. He's getting there, man. He's getting there.
He's like Palpatine, maybe. I don't know. He's just like He's just like in your ear telling you everything you want to hear and that he can make your wildest dreams come true. But he's actually going to tear your family apart and make your child hate you. You know,
Look,
I don't know.
Revenge of the Sith, they still won. They still took over everything. So maybe we have that going for us. But yeah. I don't want to know who Luke Skywalker is going to be in the division then, if that's the case.
Oh man, I hope I maybe have the Lions. But hey, since we're talking about all the feel good stuff right now, let's talk about top moments of the season so far. Maybe we can answer this quick for True North Packer fan here. He says Chiefs struggle in the second half, so if the Packers get points in the first half, they can win. I agree with that. Like the Chiefs finally had a good second half, I think, against the Raiders. But up to that point, there was like two or three games in a row. It was like back-to-back games. They didn't score any points in the second half. And then the game before that, I think they only had like 3 points in this. So it was like, remember when the Packers had those like games in a row? It was like 5 games in a row where we had like 9 points in the first half. The Chiefs had like 3 games in a row where the second half, they only had like 3 points or something. And it was something bizarre. So if the Chiefs keep struggling in that second half, give me another first quarter. Give me another 20-point first quarter for the Packers.
Look, we turned it around, right? We were the second half team. Then we decided to start showing up in the first half. I'm just saying, we can just this is the kind of thing where we just need to score every quarter. 3 points, 7 points, whatever it is. We just got to keep scoring. And we got to take advantage of our red zone opportunities, because the thing is with the Chiefs, right now, everything we're doing is playing with house money, right? Like being Detroit, we weren't expected to play with house money, going for it on fourth down, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We need to do the same against the Chiefs, because anything that we do at this point on is going to be gravy on the cake and icing on the cake, gravy on the cake. I'm combining shit, my bad. But basically,
your Thanksgiving must have got weird, man.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was insane. It was amazing because of the fact that we won. So you couldn't tell me nothing, like I said, baby. But like, no, but back to what you were saying about like top moments. I think my top moment was Jordan Love's comeback win against the Saints. Even though I know we had some things kind of go our way, that really made me like, I believed against the Chicago game, but that game was like where adversity hit the wall, and he still was able to kind of will that team back into a victory. Yeah, do we have some things go our way? Derek Carr got hurt. Groupie missed a kick. I get all that, but still, at the end of the day. When he needed to produce and he needed to score, and he wasn't going to let anything stop him, let alone all-pro linebacker like Demario Davis, right? So that was probably my top moment. That one, and then this Detroit game. This Detroit game, all of it was a top moment for me.
I got 3 very specific moments that stood out to me. Number 3, Jordan Love takes over ownership of the Chicago Bears week 1. That's 100%. Number 3 moment. If it was maybe later this season, like closer to now, it might be higher. But it was great to start off that way, right? That's a top moment. It'll be a top 5, by the end of the season still. Number 2 was what ended up being like the game-winning drive against the Chargers. There was 2 plays there that really stood out to me on that drive, and they were really the only 2 big plays. I think there was a couple small runs that drive, and then I think there was a pass interference like on a 3rd and 20 that actually saved the drive. But those 2 big plays that I'm talking about was Love went through his progression. He checked down to Wicks. Right as Wicks caught it, he got popped, and he bounced off the guy, and he turned it up the field immediately and took off for 35 yards. And he finally got chased down. I think he might have broke one more arm tackle, but that Wicks impresses me every time he puts his hands on the ball. But that one, I went back and I found the replay of that play and watched it like 4 or 5 times this morning when I was thinking about that drive, and I was like, damn, that gets more impressive every time I watch it.
100%.
Then
he willed it, like he willed like the team onto his back and ran.
Yes,
it was so nice.
And then the second part of number 2, the next pass, is 2 plays later, was the 28-yard touchdown pass to Dobbs. And it was actually maybe a tiny short.
Yeah.
Dobbs kind of jumped back up and he snatched it. And I was just like, oh my God, dude. That's how you go up and attack the ball with your hands. He adjusted to the ball in the air and he went and got it. Those 2 plays back to back, or almost back to back, or just on that same drive, those two plays really stood out to me. That game-winning drive was the one. And then my number one moment, it was so great to watch him feast on Thanksgiving, and that's the Rashawn Gary game. I know everyone really wanted to, I loved on Love too. Love had a fantastic game, but man, we're talking 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He recovered one of those fumbles, and then one of the other fumble he caused, right? That was the one Jonathan Owens scooped up and took into the touchdown, into the end zone. Like, dude, like he was going out there wrecking ball style. He was going to win that game. And so that's my number one moment, man, is Rashawn's Gary game on Thanksgiving.
I want to add to your number one moment because hearing Coach LaFleur post-game speech and telling Gary, like, hey, this guy came back. This is his first time back in a year in the same field that he tore his ACL. Came back, took over the game, and Rashawn was like, he's like, I'm so sick and tired of crying in front of you guys. But just that moment right there where, like, Coach went and hugged him, right? And he was just like, the way he hugged him was like, it wasn't like he was hugging like a player, right? Like, it was like almost like he's hugging like one of his kids, right? And just the emotion and just everything that was felt there. Even I felt it. I was like, man, like, not only did we win this game, but this guy did it in the stadium that, ended his season. And he did it in a fashion where he literally took over the team, took the team on his back and just was like, the hell with this defense, we're going to show up. And that offensive line for Detroit is no joke. Like, Taylor Decker and freaking Penny Sewell, those are really, really good freaking bookend tackles. And him and Preston Smith were just having a day with them. And I'm like, if we can just get this type of pass rush from our guys. Oh my gosh, man. The sky's the limit, bro. Sky's the limit. Yes, I completely agree, Todd. Him signing his extension. It's funny, he signed his extension, he's getting a lot of hate. Like, he ain't doing shit, blah, blah, blah. Since then, like the last 2 weeks, he has been showing out. And we don't win that Detroit game without Rashawn Gary. 100%. We do not win.
Yeah. We were talking about it on our little Pro Sports Fan app. If you ever want to stream and watch the game with us, Pro Sports Fans, we were talking on there. We said our front seven had to dominate, right, in Detroit to get that win.
Yep.
And man, they 3 fumbles, right? Not only did they force 3 fumbles, they had the situational awareness to scoop up all 3. Because I definitely have seen some games where we knock the ball loose 2 or 3 times and we don't get any of them. And it is so frustrating when, when the ball's loose and no one can get it, the ball bounced our way or, our guys just
multiple times. Yeah. Multiple times. 100%.
It was great. But hey, just got to respect that time as well. This has been a really uplifting time. Any last words, man, as we are still soaking up those good victory vibes, looking forward to a Chiefs Sunday night game. I guess this is Todd's last word.
A chancy? Yeah, bro, I need you to type that one out again, dog. I don't know what that one's about. But no, I mean, for me, last words is just that I'm really happy to see this Packers team get together, keep winning. You'll win multiple games. You can call it a streak now because they won 2 in a row, right? And there's a lot of hope for this team and for us to really take it to the next level. And I think that the sky's the limit. I don't think playoffs are out of reach, and I think that we're really going to see what Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur and this whole team's all about these upcoming weeks. And I'm just looking forward to the ride. Like we said, it's going to be a roller coaster, right? It's been ups and been downs. We've paid our dues. I think it's time for us to start stringing off some wins.
Yeah. Todd says, give them hell, Packers.
Hell yeah.
And I guess my last words are just that we're playing meaningful football. Yeah. It's going to be December. And it's, man, I'm just loving the season. I'm loving where it's going. And I think we have a legitimate chance of making the playoffs. And I didn't think I would be saying that this season, to be honest with you.
No. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. But hey, I found our song. And
okay, good. Thank you, man. I was struggling, bro. I don't know what the hell was going on.
I figured it out. So hey, I wanted to say thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you
for joining us today. And yeah, we'll be back here next Monday. Hopefully, another victory Monday. And that's all I got for you.
All right, man. Hey, echo that sentiment. Hey, man, thank you for everyone joining us today. Really do appreciate it. I know that a lot of you guys take time out of your day to listen to us talk about football, and I'm pretty sure you consume a lot of Packers content, so we're probably hopefully not repeating what other people say. And if we do, maybe we got another flavor to it, and you guys appreciate it. So we thank everyone that's taking the time to make it all the way through the show. Leave your comments. Hey, anytime you guys want to ask any questions, do not be scared. Ask comments, ask questions, make comments, do whatever you want. We'll post it on here. We'll hear you out. We'll answer anything we can answer. And then if you want to find us both on Twitter, find us on Twitter and just ping us anytime. At least for me, I know Bernie won't mind either. Just ask us any questions you might have about the Packers or life, whatever the hell you want to talk about. We're here for you guys. And let's just hope that we have another fruitful Monday evening next week.
Heck yeah. All right. Thanks, Amar. Peace.